Welkom in my Afrikaanse klas. Ons is besig met die ongelooflike avonture van Hannah Hoekom, graad 12, en vir die volgende 4 lesse gaan ons in redelike detail kyk na die inhoud van die storie. Daar 16 hoofstukke en ek het dit opgedeel sodat ons in elke les kyk na 4 hoofstukke. Dit gaan jou nie help as jy nie die storie gelees het nie en as jy nie die storie ken nie. So, kom ons trek weg en ons kyk waar ons uitkom. Daar is ons prentjie weer. Ek het elke keer vir julle die hoofstuk se naam gegee, sodat julle self kan vind in die boek. So die eerste hoofstuk is Fabienne se fantastiese tande. Nou hier kan julle onmiddellik sien, Hannah se fiksasie op haar tande, ons weet hoekom. Sy het hierdie gaping en sy is nie tevrede daarmee nie. Ons ontmoet in hierdie hoofstuk vir Hannah Hoekom. Ons vind uit hoekom haar naam Hannah Hoekom is en ons weet nou al dis omdat sy altyd vrae gevra het. Niks net aanvaar het nie. Ons weet sy's 14 jaar oud. Ons weet sy skryf graag en sy wil graag haar eie lewensverhaal skryf. Ons ken ook vir Mana, wat haar ma is, eksoties, op haar eie planeet, gaan teen die norm in, sy's 'n kunstenares en sy leef haar lewe op haar eie manier. Ons leer ken ook vir Gavin, Hannah se pa. Ons weet nou al hy's 'n modeontwerper. Ons ontmoet haar stiefpa, ons ken hom nou al, en die stiefbroers, Jan en Amos, en hulle ma, Margot, wat in Amerika is. Nou hier begin Fabienne figureer. Sy is 'n fiktiewe karakter, ons weet sy is die alter ego van Hannah, en wat belangrik is, sy het 'n perfekte lewe, waar Hannah se lewe in haar oë glad nie perfek is nie. En dan kom ons ook agter dat daar hierdie gewraakte gesinsvakansie voorlê. Goed, ek hoop dit vat vir julle hoofstuk 1 saam. Kom ons beweeg aan na hoofstuk 2. Nou hier het ons te doen met die 2 honde. Pompoen en Patat hinder 'n heks. So the 2 dogs are making a nuisance of themselves with the neighbor who they regard as a witch. She's not very friendly. She doesn't want anything to do with the kids, and she's always sort of angry and not a happy person. Goed. Hannah sien glad nie uit na die vakansie nie. She can't see the necessity of it. She's not excited about it. How can her mother expect that they must spend time together with Jan and Amos and all of these? They are all a bit shocked about this idea of having a holiday together. Die huis waarin hulle bly is so effens verwaarloos, dilapidated. Not a lot of maintenance took place. The garden is overgrown and it's not anything as Fabienne's fabulous garden and fabulous home. So you can see what happens. Hannah escapes her situation by creating this wonderful life in the life of Fabienne. Goed, as ek net gou kan terugkom na die 2 honde, terwyl hulle besig was om reg te maak vir die vakansie, hardloop die 2 honde uit die huis, uit die erf uit. En dit is toe Hannah se werk om die 2 honde te gaan terugkry. en hulle is toe in die heks se erf in. En daar was so 'n bietjie van 'n altercation tussen Hannah en die 2 honde en die vrou wat so onaangenaam is. Goed, net om dit vir julle in perspektief te stel. Nou weer eens, Fabienne, die alter ego, is baie kunstig van kleins af. So she can draw amazing pictures. And Fabienne wonders of Mana nie dalk haar regte ma is nie. Want Hannah is glad nie lief vir verf of vir teken of vir enigiets nie. En in Hannah se deur mekaar kop wonder sy of Mana nie dalk Fabienne se ma is nie. It's chaos in the house, you can imagine, being pregnant, 2 teenagers, 2 little boys, husband, 2 dogs, everybody has to get ready to go on this holiday. And then we also get the information about this unusual connection that was made between Mana and Beyers because of the 2 dogs. And I did explain this bit where they ended up in the witch's house. Goed, hoofstuk 2. Nou gaan ons aan na hoofstuk 3 toe. Bloedvingers, suikervingers, groenvingers. Kom ons kyk gou na elkeen van hulle. Blood fingers. Now that tells us something about Hannah's new story that she's going to, or the new angle that she's going to take with Fabienne's story. And here you can see Fabienne's story becomes a psychological thriller with the blood fingers. Suikervingers is just sugar fingers, maybe they had a lot of sweets or something like that. Green fingers has got to do with somebody who's very successful at gardening, and that is our character of Beyers. He loves pottering in the garden, and he has this ideal of one day this house and the garden is really going to be wonderful. Goed, Fabienne in hierdie hoofstuk raak sy al hoe meer anoreksies en sy eet al hoe minder. She loses her grip on reality, on life. And then Hannah decides that it actually should change to a thriller. Vir Hannah hulle is dit nou 'n verskriklike rit om op die berg uit te kom. In this old combi that they have, and it's really a taxing drive to get to the house on the mountain. Now, even worse than their own home is die huis ook vervalle, dilapidated, not looked after, full of dust, lots of spiders. Now you can imagine trying to get this place to be more livable. Of course, everybody has to chip in and help. So Mana organiseer almal om te help. En dit was nogals 'n okasie. Goed. Verder in hoofstuk 3. Hannah voel baie alleen in all of this. She's not happy. She doesn't want to be there, and she longs for her friend Sharon to come. She's the only thing that's going to make this more bearable. Hannah is verder baie ongelukkig, unhappy, about her dad, wat wil kom om haar verjaarsdag saam met hulle te vier. So she's really unhappy. She says, why now? He's never been interested in me. Why now that I'm turning 15, all of a sudden, he wants to be part of my life? En Hannah voel, sy wil eerder by Fabienne en haar gesin gaan bly. She rather would like to opt out of this family and rather go and live with her alter ego's family. But then in the story, in Fabienne's part of the story, she dramatically commits suicide. Okay, so remember, we are now busy with the psychological thriller. And then Hannah decides, no, she would rather want to write a whodunit, a speurverhaal. So you can see it's very, if you don't keep your wits together, you're going to get very confused. So that's why I've been, Fabienne's part of the story, I put in another color so that you can just see where you are. Right, let's go to chapter 4. Fabienne verloor haar vader. So very dramatic, Fabienne loses her dad. Okay, as part of Mana's desire to get this family to bond, they have a game evening, a speelietjies games evening. But now you can imagine with these two little boys, it was just a big fight. So it did not work. This bonding exercise just had the opposite effect. Hulle was baie kwaad vir mekaar. Because Mana wants the family to do things together. In this chapter, we also see that Hannah believes she is not pretty, her family is not rich, and in reality, she believes that Sharon Bester's family is better than hers. Sy is mooier as Hannah, sy het baie meer geld as Hannah, sy het baie meer klere en grimering en juwele en al sulke goeders. And then in this chapter, Hannah decides that Fabienne's father must rather die than Fabienne. Remember? So, yeah, very crazy in a way. Beiers, wat Mana's begeerte dat die gesin moet bietjie nader aan mekaar kom, besluit die hele gesin, he forces the family om in die oggende saam met hom te gaan stap. So remember, there's no TV, there's no electricity, there's nothing. They have to make their own merry, if you understand what I'm saying. They have to do things in a different way to bond. Die laaste deel van hoofstuk 4. Die hele gesin, so met ander woorde, dis nou Beiers, Mana, Jan, wat 'n tiener is, wat nie beïndruk is nie, Hannah, wat ook nie beïndruk is met hierdie gestappery nie, en dan die twee seentjies, julle kan nou net dink hoe opgewonde hulle was om te gaan stap. Op die ou end, toe hulle nou daar staan, en hulle sien hierdie ongelooflike uitsig van die berg af, toe is almal van hulle in vervoering. They were in awe of what they saw. Okay, now for the rest of this chapter, we're in Fabienne's story. And it's really a bit wacky, the characters and the storyline, but let's go with the story. Vernon April, die minister van appels en pere, besoek Fabienne se pa, maar die pa, wat 'n tandarts is, ontdek dat dit die verkeerde persoon is. Doesn't actually make sense at all. But this is now what is rambling on in Mana's writer's mind. Die pa probeer uitvind hoekom Vernon April nou 'n ander persoon is. So it's all this, remember she's now writing a whodunit, a detective story. So it's really a bit crazy. So hy skryf die verhaal neer, So the father writes this story, but he hides it away in a painting wat Fabienne gemaak het, 'n skildery wat Fabienne gemaak het. And then, lo and behold, the dentist disappears. Die tandarts verdwyn, en daar's 'n polisieondersoek, so the police are involved, but they can't find the father. The father disappeared and he is now gone. So, at this very intriguing point, it's the end of chapter 4. Goed, daarso is my verwysings. So ons het nou na die eerste 4 hoofstukke gekyk. So vir die volgende les gaan ons nou na die volgende 4 hoofstukke kyk. Tot ek julle weer sien.